In our busy world, we're often told that doing everything at once is the key to success. It's seen as a kind of superpower. But what if that's all wrong? What if it's actually just a myth? Today, we're going to explore the science of a scattered mind in our explainer, What Multitasking Does to Your Brain. So let me ask you something. Do you think of yourself as a master multitasker? You know, someone who can juggle emails, phone calls, and big projects all at the same time. A lot of us really pride ourselves on that skill. But what if it isn't really a skill at all? Okay, let's start with a number that might just surprise you. 2.5%. That's it. According to the research, only about 2.5% of people, they call them supertaskers, can actually handle several things at once without their performance taking a nosedive. So what about the other 97.5% of us? Well, for pretty much everyone else, the idea that we can effectively multitask is one of the biggest myths of our time. As we're about to see, our brains are just not wired that way. See, here's the big illusion. Your brain isn't actually doing multiple things at the same time. Instead, it's acting like a really, really fast, quick change artist. It's just shifting its focus from one thing to the next, back and forth, so quickly that it feels like you're doing them all at once. The proper name for this mental magic trick is task switching. And here's a fun fact. The word multitask wasn't even invented for humans. It was coined back in 1965 to describe what an old IBM computer could do. But unlike a computer, our brain really only has one processor. So if our brain is constantly switching back and forth, what part of it is pulling all the levers? To figure that out, we need to take a little trip inside the brain's control center. And here it is. Welcome to your prefrontal cortex. You can think of this as the CEO of your brain. It's the part that handles all the big executive functions, making decisions, planning, and most importantly for our story, deciding where to point your attention. Now, every single time you switch, say, from writing a report to checking a text message, your brain has to go through this little two-step dance. First, it has to shift its goal, basically deciding, okay, I'm doing this new thing now. Then it has to activate the rules for that new task. And this whole process is never instant. And that brings us to the real cost of all this switching. Because every single one of those mental gear shifts comes with a price, a kind of tax on your time and your mental energy. I mean, you can see the difference pretty clearly here, right? When your brain is focused, it's efficient, it makes fewer mistakes, things just flow. But when it's constantly switching, it's working so much harder, it's way more likely to mess up, and it's just plain inefficient. You're not saving time, you're losing it in the switch itself. And this is the part that is just wild to me. Research shows that after just one small interruption, a single notification on your phone, it can take your brain up to 15 minutes to get back into that deep state of concentration. 15 minutes just gone. So you can imagine when you add up all those little interruptions and all that lost time over an entire day, the effect is huge. Your productivity basically goes into a freefall. The research is pretty clear on this. Trying to multitask can slash your productivity by as much as 40%. Let that sink in. By trying to do more, you are literally getting less done. Some studies found it took people twice as long to finish a task when they were juggling it with another one. I love how the psychiatrist Edward M. Hallowell puts it. He calls it a mythical activity. We believe we're being super effective, but it's just a feeling. We're basically just confusing the feeling of being busy with actually being productive. But it's not just about losing a few minutes or making a few mistakes. Over time, trying to be a chronic multitasker puts a real physical strain on your brain, and that can lead to some pretty serious long-term consequences. Constantly switching gears actually increases your stress hormones and just wears you out mentally. It can literally train your brain to be more distractible. Some studies have even linked heavy multitasking to having less gray matter, that's actual brain tissue, in the areas that help you pay attention. And maybe the weirdest one is something called inattentional blindness, where you can be looking right at something, but your distracted brain just doesn't even see it. Okay, so if multitasking is the problem, what's the solution? The good news is it's actually pretty simple. The answer is to start working with your brain's natural design, not fighting against it. It's time to unlock the power of doing just one thing at a time. This is the perfect way to think about it. Your brain is like a Swiss Army knife.
It's incredible. It has all these amazing, versatile tools packed inside. But here's the thing. You can only pull out and use one of those tools at a time, right? You can't use the screwdriver and the can opener at the exact same moment. Your brain, by its very design, is a monotasking machine.
And the great thing is, you can absolutely break the habit. You can start small. Turn off all those notifications on your phone and computer. Try the 20-minute rule. Just give one single task your undivided attention for 20 minutes. You can also try batching things together, like answering all your emails in one go. And finally, just practice being mindful. Just noticing when you get the urge to switch is a huge first step. So, when it comes right down to it, our brains aren't flawed. They're actually built for incredible focus. They evolved to zero in on one single thing at a time. Which really just leaves us with one last question for you to think about. Knowing that, what will you choose to give your full, undivided attention to today?